What's up everybody, this is Scott. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, it is back to my favorite comparison videos when it relates to the new TCL 20 Pro 5G versus the Pixel 4a. Now, got my cheat sheet with me to talk about what some of these things are. I'm going to read right off of them. Let's start with the Pixel 4a. Pixel 4a, $350 price point, comes in at a 5.8 inch Comes in at a 5.81 inch screen that you see on here. It's a little guy compared to the bigger size 6.67 inch TCL 20 Pro 5G. So yeah, definitely you can see, even when I'm holding these up from a comparison perspective, the 4a dwarfed when it comes to the TCL phone. Wow. So in this video, everything that you see and everything that you hear will be shot me hand holding on a switch pod with the funkiest looking mount to make sure that I have everything in shot, including myself. I'm going to attempt to turn these around and show you the 4K on the back side out of each camera, but everything that you see right now, this is 1080p 30 frames a second out of the Pixel 4a, and this is 4K 30 frames a second out of everything that you can see in the TCL. Which one looks better? Which one has stabilization? The better stabilization. From what I see right now, based on my walking, they both look pretty darn good. Now going back to the Pixel 4, it's a 730G, 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. Now counter to that is the TCL, which comes in at 6 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, expandable storage, which is almost unheard of at this point, which means I can put an SD card in this bad boy and rock it around everywhere that I need to go. Pixel doesn't have that. Pixel has the fingerprint scanner on the back, no wireless charging. TCL has wireless charging, face unlock, in-screen fingerprint scanner that honestly is not very good in my personal opinion, and I talked about that in my review video of the TCL 20 Pro 5G. 3140 milliamp hour batteries out of the 4a, but honestly the 4a gets incredible battery life, and the TCL has 4500 milliamp hour batteries, and so far in the few days that I've used it, it's really not been that bad. So I gotta say, from a specs perspective, specs are not everything. This seems to be the matchup when it relates to getting the best bang for your buck. You want wireless charging and things like that, TCL is definitely a way to go. But you know me, I'm a big camera guy, big photo guy, so let's put these things through their paces. This has all been shot on that selfie camera that I talked about. Now let's flip it around to the backside and see what I can come up with. Now, this is 4K 30, each out of the TCL 20 Pro 5G and the Pixel 4a. This is what the stabilization looks like on both of those. What do you guys think so far? I think both are pretty darn good. If I do like a quick jaunt where I pretend that I'm running, you can see that, man, that stabilization is super good on the TCL, but it's definitely no slouch out of there. Take a look at the colors right now that you see on the screen. Both are actually pretty darn true to life. It's not the greenest grass because we've been going through a bit of not a drought in Ohio by any stretch of the imaginations, but we went a few days without some rain. So the grass isn't quite as green. The blue that you see in the sky out of both is actually, that's the legit blue out of the sky. It looks like the TCL might be a little more true to life, whereas the Pixel is a little more like a lighter color blue. I don't know, but those green trees right there in front are as green out of both. Now, let's switch and see what we can do out of any of the other lenses. Now this is the 2x telephoto, the stabilization basically on out of both the way that you see it. Obviously I'm walking, so this is what that looks like. I don't think either one of them look bad. It feels like the TCL is doing a better job from an image stabilization perspective. Let me walk in the grass, or walk in the land this time. It feels like the TCL is a bit more smooth in the camera, but I'll have to look at it in post to see exactly what it's like. So now that you've seen some of the video, let's take a look at some of these photos and actually show you which ones that I prefer. It's probably not going to be a big shocker that I really enjoy the photography out of the 4a. I should have noted this at the beginning of the video, but I'm actually shooting this with Android 12 beta number 2, out of the 4A versus Android 11 that comes on with the TCL 20 Pro 5G. So keep that in mind when you're seeing some of these. I'm actually on beta software as it relates to the 4A. So there's some of the shots that you see as it relates to the 4A versus the TCL 20 Pro 5G. And I gotta tell you, I was really surprised that the Pixel 4A could really hold its own against something that is really as loaded up as the TCL 20 Pro is. This is a $350 device that really holds its own against even sometimes the iPhone 12 Pro, which I know might shock some and they'll be like, oh, you're a Google fanboy or whatever. But it really, really does. It just goes to show you everything that Google's done in the A series as it relates to the 4A, and then hopefully what that might look like for the 5A as well. Now, that doesn't mean that the TCL 20 Pro is a slouch any stretch of the imagination at all. There's a lot of things that it has that the Pixel 4A just simply doesn't. And I can give you a laundry list. No wireless charging. Obviously, that's a big thing. Quad cameras. That's another big thing. Face unlock, in-screen fingerprint scanner. Sometimes people really like those particular types of things. Expandable storage. Already comes with more internal storage than the 4A has, so there's a lot to love. And the price point difference between $350 and $499 really isn't that tremendous considering the laundry list of things that I just named. So at the end of the day, which one am I picking? I don't actually know the answer to that. Obviously, I really, really love everything about the video and the photos in the Pixel. The battery life is phenomenal, but I've had no issues at all when it comes to the TCL 20 Pro 5G. So for, again, the best part about it is those mid-range consumer prices at $500 or less are really, really getting open. So I can't really say, well, this one's a winner and this one's not. When in reality, out of all of it, the consumer's the one that wins because the power of choice and the power of we get a lot of cool stuff in phones that don't necessarily have to cost $1,000. So that's it. That's all I have. As always, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment below. We'll see you next time.